A famous poet once said, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." Unfortunately, the poet wasn't talking about business deals. Sometimes it's too late. Now you can always rebound in a holistic way. You can always be more successful, but there are times on a specific deal when you have to cut your losses and recognize it's time to go home. So I want to talk to you a little bit about sunk cost. Imagine you spent months working on a deal. You had two trips to a client site, you pulled together a great presentation, you've invested time and money to close the deal. But now it looks like the deal is sinking. Should you make another trip? Should you try to revive it? If you're like most salespeople, you'll evaluate how much time and money you've already put in. That is your sunk cost. If you already put in a lot of time and money, there is a tendency to want to move the deal forward because you don't want to lose what you've already invested. Sunk costs are one of the primary reasons people make bad decisions. They pursue something that's not going to work because their sunk cost blinded them to all the signs of failure. It's a bad lens for decision making that results in complete letdown. You know the situation, you're sitting in front of a client and they're telling you they are going with the other guy, and your heart sinks. But in reality, the signs were there all along, but your attachment to the deal blinded you. Here are some examples: cancelled meetings, no urgency about getting you the information you need, bad body language, positive statements about your competition, constantly pushing the decision back, asking you to revise your proposal multiple times. If you are getting those signs, you need to stop. Ask yourself, and ideally ask your buyer, what's the likelihood of making this deal happen? Instead of looking at how much you have already invested, lose your attachment, ask yourself, what's the best use of my resources going forward? Because you see, any more time you spend working this deal that probably won't close is time you can't spend working on another deal. So here are three questions to evaluate whether it makes sense for you to invest more resources. Number one, is it in the client's best interest for this deal to work? Number two, does the client actually want the deal to work? And number three, would this deal be profitable for you? If the answers to these questions is yes, go ahead and schedule another call with the client. Say, I think this could be a win-win for both of us. How can we move this forward? But one thing you want to watch out for is a situation where a client is making last-minute demands. Now, this can happen for one of the two reasons. One, they do want to get the deal done. They are just trying to grab for more and see if it's possible. Or two, they are not going to do the deal at all. They're just trying to use your offer to manipulate your competition. So, if a client makes last minute demands, it's perfectly okay to ask your buyer, why are you bringing this to us now? Their answer will reveal their true intent. If you do walk away, you want to graciously leave the door open. You can say something like, I have done the best job I can possibly can to demonstrate our value, and we'd like to work with you. If you choose to go with someone else, that shouldn't prevent us from working together in the future. If you want to revisit this or some other project, I'm always happy to talk to you. Your time is valuable. Don't let sunk cost cause you to overinvest in a deal that's not going to happen.